Good afternoon, everyone. I wish I could sing for you all, but I think it's going to scare you more than anything. And I don't want to scare anyone today, but seriously, I want to first start off by saying I'm honored that you're here to see what I have to share. I'm honored that I get to be a part of this gathering, but honestly, in this moment, I can share something I'm so passionate about. And it's simple. It's a three-letter word, why. Find your why. No.
I just want to say that we'll be using Slido, so if you have any questions, please post it there, and we'll read it afterwards.
Yeah, go to Slido, go to Polyglot, Amikumo, and then maybe afterwards, if you don't have the app, or if you don't want to download it, or if you don't want to send it, we could just do it the old-fashioned way with our voices and our mouths and our eyes. But back to why. This three-letter word is so important to me. It's the reason why I wake up every morning and do what I do. I ask myself why for everything. Why am I eating this? Why am I giving this speech? Why am I learning this language, which is part of the reason I'm giving this speech here today in front of you all. So when it comes to finding your why, it's something deep. It's something within. Yes? Oh, I'm sorry. So when it comes to finding your why, I truly believe that it has to be something deep, something within. Now, at a young age, I realized how important why is when it comes to everything you do, the meaning, the purpose behind it. And throughout the years, I developed little ways of practicing my gratitude and putting why into practice. Now, I developed an experiment, and I want to do it all with you today. Is it okay if I do an experiment with you guys? Yeah. Can I get a yeah? Yeah, let's do it. Why not? I mean, why not? So the experiment is rather simple. Whenever this wants to work. Okay, so I'm going to have to come here and click. Or not click, because I'm just going to have to adjust. It's Murphy's Law, guys. Whatever could possibly go wrong, it will go wrong.
You just changed the computers.
Oh, you changed computers. Yeah, cool, perfect.
Yeah.
You gotta let me know. All right, guys. And how do you blow this up? It's all right. So it's good. And we're in business, guys. Let's get a round of applause because we're now in business. Yeah. Thank you guys for making it happen. I appreciate it. So when it comes to finding your why in the experiment today, it's rather simple. Guys, until a few days ago, I'd never seen a 500-euro bill. This is what it looks like. It's purple and it's pretty. And it's mine, okay? But actually, I went a little crazy, and my fiance told me, baby, this is really crazy. I don't know what you're doing. But I decided to take out a lot of 500-euro bills and put this experiment to work today with you all. So for whoever came here today, it actually is going to make it worth it, not only for the speech, but also money-wise. So in the envelopes that are in the middle, you'll notice there's envelopes in there. I have a 500-euro bill, or many, and I also have a blank piece of paper and some markers. Whoever's in the middle, please pass it forward. And for whoever is waiting to get your paper, get a pen out or a marker, because you're going to need it for this experiment. Yeah, I'm crazy, guys. What can I say? I'm giving out 500 euros right away.
Where shall we give those?
To the people to share. Yeah, give each one of you need a blank piece of paper and a 500 euro. All right, once you all have a 500 euro and a blank piece of paper, give back the 500 euros, okay? Make sure you all get it. You guys in the back got the 500 euro? You got it? You got the, yeah? All right. Now let's go back to the experiment. Can I have your attention, please? We're going to go back to the experiment now. So if you haven't noticed, it's a fake 500 euro bill. It says motion pictures. I mean, guys, if I had 500 euros, you'd think I'll be giving it away like that anyway? Come on. Who got money like that anyway? Well, all right, let's go find it. But today, right now, we're going to go into the why and behind these 500 euros and this blank piece of paper. Now that you already saw the 500 euro, I want you to put that on the side. I want you to grab that blank piece of paper, and I want you to grab your pen. And here comes the task at hand. I want you to, right now, imagine someone, whether they're here with us or not. And I want you to quickly write down their name now. You have 5 seconds to write down a person's name that you love on that blank piece of paper. Please join me in the experiment. You have 5 seconds to write down a name on the blank piece of paper. And when you're done, if you have markers to hand out if anyone doesn't have a pen. Once I see all your heads looking up, I know you're done. Got the thumbs up. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to put that piece of paper with that person's name that you love on the side, and I want you to grab the 500 € bill. Put it in the palm of your hand, just like this. It's not a magic trick, okay? Don't think I'm a magician. All right? It's not going to become real out of nowhere. I want you to grab this, and I want you all together on 3. Crush it to the tiniest ball on 3. 1, 2, 3. The tiniest ball. I want to see who gets to make it tiniest. You just missed out on 500 euros. Yeah! Look, you missed out, buddy. Now let's give this guy 500 euros. He deserves one too. And her too. She seemed kind. Now that you have these 500 euro in the tiniest ball, I want you to put that on the side. And now I want you to grab the name on the paper, and I want you to put it in the palm of your hand. I want you to now join me on this because I need you to close your eyes. I'm not a magician, but I'm a hypnotist, okay? I'm joking. I want you to close your eyes, all of you, and I want you to make sure you imagine this person, a story with them, a moment that you had with them. Now, I do not want you to do it. I do not want you to keep your eyes closed. I don't want you to do it. I just want you to imagine your hand, your palm, and the paper there. I do not want you to do it in real life. I just want you to do it in your mind. And in your mind, crush the paper to the tiniest ball that you can. In your mind. You heard that, Kirk? Please open your eyes. Someone, share with me, who found it hard to crush the paper with someone you love, their name on it? Who found it difficult to crush that paper? God, you guys, there's a lot of emotional people in here, huh? Michael, can I ask you why? Wait, may I ask who the person is?
Yeah, my girlfriend.
Your girlfriend. And may I please ask why it was difficult to crush that paper in your mind only?
I can't say something subconscious, maybe.
But it was difficult, you would say.
It was difficult, yeah.
Can anyone else in here, thank you for sharing, by the way, anyone else in here can share why it was difficult? Can they put it into some words? Raffaele, may I ask who the person was?
It's my wife.
It's your wife. And may I ask why was it difficult to crush a piece of paper?
It kind of felt like, crushing the relationship.
Wow. So a little emotional on both sides. Anyone else want to share? Thank you for sharing, Raffaele. May I ask you for your name? Your name?
My name?
Yes.
Roman.
Roman, and may I ask who did you write on the paper?
I wrote the name of my girlfriend.
Your girlfriend.
It was hard because I feel like pain because like an eye.
Yeah.
Like an eye.
Well, you guys are 3 lovebirds, I gotta say. Guys, let's give a round of applause for everyone who participated. It's not easy to share these emotional things in front of a great group like this, but it's not easy, and I want to thank you guys. But in this experiment lies exactly what I'm talking about, the why. It's why because it's emotional. But why was it not so hard to crush that 500 euro? I know 1, it's fake, but 2, whoever's going to be that, but 2, anyone, why was it easy to crush a real 500? You know, you probably could reuse it, but it's just paper. It's just money. I mean, yeah, you need money to eat, but it's that emotional attachment that you have to that person. You couldn't crush that piece of paper, even though it was just a piece of paper. That experiment alone really helps me with the why. Finding my why at the age of 3 years old, which you all did, by the way, too, because you all probably asked why in your language. Why do I have to eat this? Why is the sky blue? Why are you trying to teach me 14 languages, you crazy polyglot dad or mom, right? They're probably all saying that. Why? We still do that. But the why is like the foundation of a home. Without a strong foundation, a little earthquake, a little wind will crush your house. Not the best screen quality, but you get the idea. Now, if it's an extrinsic reason, let's say money, let's say putting another badge on our flag, another flag on our badge. I'm dyslexic, I guess, today. Point is, you may get to your goal, but not so successfully, in my opinion. Because when your why is so strong that you live and breathe for it, just like you live and you need to eat, you need to sleep, and when you have a strong why like one of those, you get what you want. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to share a picture of me when I was around 4 years old, when I was still saying why. And at the time, I had an afro, but my afro was so big it didn't even fit in this picture. I'm serious. Like, what was my mom thinking blow drying my hair like this? At this age, growing up in an Italian-American home in Jersey City, New Jersey, my parents always loved having espresso. I'm telling you, I was real sensitive, emotional, and I was addicted. I was addicted to espresso at this young age. Who does this? What kind of parents do this? My parents wanted me to go to school. I needed to get started the day. No, it wasn't because they wanted me to go to school. Maybe partially. You know, they wanted, like, this guy's sleeping too much. But really, the real reason was because espresso in my home was the social glue to keep everyone together, to have conversation. And in those moments, guys, there wasn't just coffee and saying how your day was. There were people knocking on the door all day long. Hey, what are you guys doing? My aunt, my uncle, Jehovah's Witness. You name it, they knocked on our door. And you know what we did? Come on, come upstairs, get a coffee. I really don't want to join your religion, but I want to hear what you got to say. And in that home, there was another glue. And it's the reason why you're all here. It was language. Because my parents didn't just speak Neapolitan or Italian. They spoke different dialects. They spoke Spanish because the community where I'm from was so diverse. They had Brazilians or Portuguese people coming in. And they would always do one thing. Try to go on their level and go straight to their heart. Because when they spoke the language of their heart, there was a bond in that room. And I learned that at that young age. And I'm stayed in that way now. And I'm not changing, all right? No matter what 500-euro bill is in me, that why, the intrinsic human connection lies deep in my soul. So fast forward 20 years later, in 2008, I'm a flight attendant for an airline, traveling the world. I have great friends, great family. And I was just on this high of gratitude. One day, I was counting my blessings. And it wasn't a habit at the time. It was just a moment where I said to myself, wow, I have family. I have these blessings of traveling. I can't believe this. And I got hit with a tsunami of emotions that hit me hard. And I'll admit it to you all, on that day, in May of 2008, on my bed, I was crying like a baby. And no, I wasn't on any psychedelics. No, I'd never done it, never will. But I was just crying, like internally, just so grateful, tears of joy, that I looked similar to this guy that you cannot see. But you can find him on Google if you write tears of joy. This little baby was crying and smiling at the same time, and that's how I could describe it in the best way with this picture. He was crying and he felt such feelings of happiness. And I decided to write a letter to everyone that has blessed me in my life to say thank you. But I had to do more. I had to do something big my way. Not big, in the sense of, run for president and like change the world. No, I got to do it my way. So I did what any normal 24-year-old would do, and I signed up to the Peace Corps in America. For anyone who doesn't know what the Peace Corps is, it's a 2-year program in America where people volunteer to help out a developing country in their local communities, whether it's helping them become self-sustainable, building a well, teaching them English, how to start a business. And this 2-year program became my dream. Even though it was a part of my brain before, at this moment I was going to apply. So you know what I did on my birthday, which is the day I was crying, by the way? I decided to apply to them. 5-hour-long application. The moment I pressed send, I looked like this guy. I was doing the hustle. I was like this. Because I was like, I'm on my way to say thank you. That's how I felt. I really did. That moment, I said, this is it. I'm going to give back. A couple of days later, I got an email back from them. And in the subject, it said, thank you for applying. And I said, you're welcome. Thank you for letting me apply. And in the context of this email, it said something I did not expect because I really thought this was going to be my future. It said, unfortunately, we cannot accept you in our program without a requirement of having a bachelor's degree. I remember seeing it. And I'm like, man, I'm a college dropout. I got hired at an airline thought I was going to travel the world. I didn't think it was going to bite me in the butt that I dropped out. I was going to go back, I promise. But I kept on traveling. I didn't think this was going to stop them from seeing the heart in me. So all the little whispers of like, you're a loser, you're a failure. Hey, son, if you drop out of college, you're not going to be no one. All of this was whispering in my ear. And I know you feel it right now because I felt it even harder that day. But there's something I have to say. Just like anything that goes down, it must go up. And that day, I hit the ground so hard. Hey, welcome, come on now. And that day, I hit the ground hard. And if you see this picture, this is a ball hitting the ground. I want someone to catch this right now. I'm going to throw it, I'm going to bounce it to someone. Not you with the beer, unless I get it in the beer. I'm going to bounce this ball to someone in this area. 1, 2, get ready to catch it. And the guy with the beer is like, I can't let go of my beer. Thank you for catching it. You got it in your hand? No? So she got it, she got it. So when I hit the ball down here, right, it went higher. And that's how I felt that day. I said, I hit the ground hard with those little whispers. I said, no, but I got to get up. I got to go up. I got to keep going. I can't let this take me down. So on this day, I decided to go on a few websites, volunteersouth.america.net and workaway.info. I said, I'm not going to let the Peace Corps take me down. So I applied to 2 places in Brazil and 1 in Peru. The moment I pressed send on those applications, I started dancing again. Because I said to myself, I'm not giving up. No, not today. Not on my birthday, not on any day. On June 4, 2008, I got an email from one of the orphanages in Brazil, in Rio. It said, in the subject, thank you for applying. I said, thank you, I appreciate it. And in the summary, in the context, it said, your vision lines up with ours. When can we do an interview? I responded immediately. I said, I would love for one tomorrow. The next day, June 5th, 2008, I got a 3-piece suit in my house. I put it on. I polished my shoes. I got all ready. Then I realized this is a Skype interview. And I was like, it doesn't matter. Just put on cologne. Just feel good about yourself. You got to get ready. Sit down. I'm like, she can't even see my shoes. And I sat down, and for 1 hour with the recruiter, her name is Diana from Portugal. She hit me with so many scenarios of what can possibly go on at an orphanage in Brazil for 1 hour to see if I was really cut out for this. And after an hour, she said, Francesco, you really, like your vision, the way you feel about this organization, the way you want to help, we would love to have you here. I was like, oh, thank you. And then the next thing she said was, okay, now we'll evaluate you in Portuguese. Okay. Just one little problem, guys. In 2008, I didn't speak a lick of Portuguese. But you know, I speak Italian, I speak Spanish, I can fake the funk, as we say. We can fake it till you make it, let's do this. I said, okay. I was like, what can I lose? I gotta keep going, you know? So I sat down and she goes, okay, Francesco, first question. Onde você foi criado? I smiled at the camera and I said, Olá, meu nome é Francesco. She went like that, her eyes scrunched. You saw all these rows there. She's like, huh? So she put her head down. I imagine she said, maybe he didn't hear me with the connection. Okay, mais uma vez, she said, onde você foi criado? I was so deaf to the language, I didn't even hear her repeat the question. And I said, obrigado, muito obrigado. Guys, she caught me. She goes, I assume you don't speak Portuguese. And I'm like, what makes you say that, Diana? Come on. Now, we were smiling at that moment, but it got a little dark. And she said, well, unfortunately, oh, there's that word again from the Peace Corps. Unfortunately, if you do not speak Portuguese, you can't attend our program here in September. Unfortunately, if you do not speak Portuguese, we're going to not consider you. You'll be useless, to be honest with you. She said the word useless. And then this is where I got hit. She goes, unfortunately, if you do not speak Portuguese, you will not connect with the children. I felt like I got hit hard. And in that moment of getting hit hard, like that ball again that you saw, I felt, you can't see the ball again, but the same idea, guys. I got hit hard because it was like rejection, unfortunately. But now this time someone's going to catch it, all right? You guys got to catch it because I'm telling you, this ball, guys, you guys don't play baseball. I thought you were American, this baseball, but come on. Sorry, I didn't want to, I'm not good with angles. So, and keep that ball, please, because anytime you do hit the ground, remember that you could always bounce back up. And that's what I said to myself that day. I got to bounce back up. And I said, Diane, I know this is going to sound crazy. I know it's going to sound crazy, but I could learn Portuguese before the program starts in September. She goes, I have to fulfill the spot in July 5th. That's 30 days. I know this sounds crazy, Diana, but give me 30 days to learn Portuguese. She kind of went, it's impossible. I go, I know it is. I know it's impossible. But I'm telling you, I'll take off from work. I'll do everything I can because I found my why. There was something in me, that intrinsic reason I can't give up. Give me this chance, please. I'll be honest with you all today. She pitied me. She said, I guess we can try on July 5th, but I can't promise you anything. I can't promise you anything. I said, you don't have to. I just want you to say that July 5th, 2008, we'll do this interview in 30 days. No problem. Hung up the phone, called a Brazilian school in New York City called Brazil Ahead. And I said, hey, I'm trying to work for this, volunteer for this program. Can you please help me out? They gave me an 80% discount to like support my cause so I could volunteer in their country. They were honored. My mom helped me get a laptop that day so I can find all the resources. I didn't have one. And my cousin lent me the book of Teach Yourself Portuguese, which I never gave back. And I won't give back. 30 days, guys, I took off from work, 8 hours a day, intense, with my private teacher that they hooked me up with for 30 hours, an hour a day with a private teacher. On July 5th, 2008, I put on that same suit. I put on different cologne because I'm superstitious, you know. I'm from Italy. With Southern Italy, we are superstitious about everything. I sat down, called her up on Skype, and she goes, hi, Francesco, very skeptical about this encounter. Hi, let's just run this through. Francesco, first question. Onde você foi criado? I put my head down and I looked back up and I said, eu nasci e fui criado em Jersey City, New Jersey. Jersey City é mais ou menos 10 minutos de carro de Nova York. E você, Diane, onde você foi criada? She was like that. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. The next 30 minutes were question after question getting more difficult. And at the end of the 30 minutes, she goes, I really can't believe this, but I would love to invite you to our program. I really would love to invite you. In September, we'll see you. I got into the program. I'm on my way. That why that I was telling you about, that intrinsic reason, let me study hardcore. I mean, I was lucky. I was fortunate to take off the month. Yes, I was fortunate to have family who helped me out with the laptop. And I'm fortunate that my cousin let me steal his Teach Yourself Portuguese book. All of that was a big blessing. But the why came inside, and then it made other people want to help too. Something I did not expect. I didn't plan this out, how to get sponsorship. I just happened to have this feeling in me of gratitude. Now, I found my why, and I loved sharing that story, but I want to know what your why is, and how your why comes within, and how it drives your force to learn the language you're learning. If anyone in here would love to share an intrinsic reason why, so we can get inspiration and motivation, please raise your hand and share if you're interested. Anyone want to share? No? No problem. Yeah, we got one. Hey, what's going on?
Really can be a life changer because you start the journey with a goal, but after you've been learning the language, you're meeting real people, and really things that you cannot expect, and they're gonna teach you something.
Right.
So they're gonna teach you something, and I'm not talking about the language. They're gonna teach you to share another culture, another vision.
Right.
They're gonna bring you something into something new. So.
But do you have a story that like why you learned the language that has fired you up to succeed in the language? Well, it's still intrinsic, right? It's still emotional intrinsic. Let's give him a round of applause for share, because again, it's not easy to share sometimes. Thank you. Now, when it comes to, excuse me, right here. When it comes to finding your why, guys, I really wish on everything I love that I could have a 7-point system on how to find your why. I stumbled on mine. It came from gratitude. It came from huge blessings and looking at what I had and saying thank you. But when it comes to finding your why, I wish I had that 7-point system. There are other ways that you already all know. The target audience is usually different, but today you all know that if you have an ancestor, whether it's a grandmother or a grandfather who spoke a different language different than your native tongue, you all know how speaking to them or recollecting on the memories of what they said to you touches your heart. I can give you a personal example. My mom, she speaks English because she lives in America, but she grew up speaking Neapolitan, Napolitan. And if I said to my mom, "Ma, I love you," she's like, "Oh, thank you, I love you too." But if I go, "Ma, te voglio bene assai, ma," my mom will cry emotionally. She was like, just like, "Oh, mannaggia mio, figlio mio, figlio mio." She started crying because she feels this connection of the song that she first heard when she was a baby, which is the same song that I heard when I was a baby. And that's the same idea of going straight to someone's heart, because that is their song, and that's the song we can sing with them. I mean, other people can say as well, falling in love. Who in here has fallen in love or still in love with someone who speaks a different native language than your own? God, there's a lot of lovers in here, I'm telling you. Can I ask, what's your name? No. Sorry. Can I have one more? Can I have, you?
My ex was Austrian.
Austrian. Deutsch, yeah, he started learning Deutsch. Exactly. Knowing her mother tongue helps him connect with her on a deeper level rather than just speaking another third language, right? And let's go back to us loving cultures and loving languages for the way they sound. Those are intrinsic reasons. Like, I love the way Italian sounds. I mean, look at Julia Roberts in Eat, Pray, Love. Oh my God, I love the pasta. I love everything about the culture. And she learns Italian, at least a few words. It's another intrinsic reason. Nothing that 500 euro bill can do for anyone. And even if you did say, well, I learned to get a job. I needed to learn English. I got to get a job. Yeah, maybe you're right. You did with the money. But if you go a little deeper, maybe because you have children, you want to give them an opportunity. Maybe because you really feel that you need to explore this world and this might be the language that'll help you. It goes deeper than any of those bills. I'm guaranteeing it. Guys, for me, volunteering was the why. I've been addicted to volunteering. I'm wearing my volunteer shirt from where I volunteer at a children's hospital in Poland, and it's become my only way to learn languages. I can't do it otherwise. I'm just there just looking at words and saying, I don't feel it. It can't come to me. If that's your route, I highly recommend 2 platforms. There's one app that's really, really impressive. It's called worldpackers.com. You can volunteer at orphanages. You can go into small villages with families. You can do big things, small things, NGOs, families with 3 people. It doesn't matter. And there's also a website called workaway.info. When I first started 10 years ago, the archaic website still works, volunteersouth.america.net. But these 2 are the modern times. This is like the Airbnb of volunteering. It works. You figure out what your host can work with you, and maybe that's your route. Maybe not, I'm not sure. But at least that's another option, another puzzle that you can figure out on finding your why, because I know it's not easy. I'm not going to be the one to say it's easy to find your why. You just go deep. No, there's a lot of soul searching in there, and I know that. But when it comes to my why, when I found my why, Diana helped me. Diana said, you won't connect with the children. And when I was in Brazil, I'm not lying to you, I could not stop enjoying the moment. Even on the tough days when the kids were irate and angry, because they had good reason to be angry, okay? Let's be honest. At an orphanage, it's not easy. But even on those bad days, it was always a huge blessing because I was able to connect and show them who they were and show them that they were loved. One story in particular at the orphanage around October, a month and a half in, I'm at the orphanage and I was called an educador. Educador is called educator, but you're not educating. You're basically monitoring their times, cooking, cleaning, and being their big brother living in the house. So I guess you'd call me a male nanny. But there was a bunch of us. And at the orphanage, I would make sure that the teenagers at that time would go to the high school to just make sure that they left on time. Like, guys, you gotta go. Once they left, I trusted they went there. On this particular day, I got a phone call from the local high school. And the lady on the phone goes, "Oi, Francesco, one of your children, he's not here today." And I go, "Well, that's funny, because I saw him leave." And she goes, "Well, he's not here." I'm like, "Well, he's not here." I said, "I have a feeling where he is." I hung up the phone, I said, "Thank you." And I said, "Wait, a few days ago, he was telling me how much he was falling in love with a girl, this kid. His name is Uderson." And Uderson, he goes, "Yeah," he was very open with me because he could sense my trust. He knew that I wouldn't ever break it. And he was telling me about how he had these feelings. 15 years old, discovering love, had issues figuring out what love was because he didn't have anyone to show him as an infant. And on this day, I said, well, he could be in 3 places. Let's think about it. He could be up to no good with his friends, which was me when I cut class. He could be up to good with his friends, you know, playing soccer, just wandering around and just doing nothing in the village. Or he could be with the girl he just told me about a few days ago. I don't know where he is, but I'm going to find him because that's my job. So I go wandering the village, and it took me about 10 minutes. And I found him. And at the time, this is dating me, it was an internet cafe. You know, it was cool at the time. They didn't have LTE phones. In the internet cafe right there, I see Uderson, Uji, is his nickname, hugging the girl. And I'm like, oh man, I knew it. Got him. I was like, I felt like a detective. I knew it. So I saw him, and I wanted to be the cool uncle. They call me Chio. And then I wanted to be the cool uncle, the cool volunteer, and I was like, from afar, I go, Uji, with my big Brazilian thumb. And he was like, Chio! And then he's like, oh man, I'm in trouble. Like, he's like, oh man, he knew he got caught. So he hugged the girl goodbye, and you even saw their hands just gently go across each other. So he came over, and he goes, oi, Chio, tudo bem? And I'm like, tudo. E contigo? And with you? He's like, tudo. I decided to play the cool uncle and no reprimanding, because that's not really me anyway, and I'm not there for that. I'm not there to tell you what rules are. I'm there to support you no matter what emotional moment you're going through. And in this moment, he looked at me, he goes, Chio, while we're walking, he goes, normally, you talk a lot. Right now, you're too quiet. You mad at me? I said, no, I promise. Look at me. I'm not mad at you. I just don't want you to think that I'm here to tell you what to do and what not to do. I want you to know you can trust me no matter what. If you want to share with me, if you don't want to share with me, I'm here for you. I just want to go for a walk. Back to the orphanage, because you got to go back to school, you know? So we're walking, and you could see in his face that he just let loose a little more. He's like, wow, I can't trust this guy even more than he already did. So now we're walking on his bridge, and almost near the orphanage. And while we're walking, and I can remember it like it was yesterday because it's that poignant. And we're walking, and he put his hand on my shoulder like a man. And he's like, Chio, tenho uma pergunta para você. I have a question for you. And I was like, yeah, sure. In my mind, they always wanted to know if we're going to have pizza that night or if we're going to play soccer. And we're going to do both tonight. So I was like, yeah, what's up? Like, yeah, pizza and soccer. And he looked at me, and this is honestly the last thing I've ever expected for him to ask. He goes, Chio, o que é amor? What is love? I'm freezing right now because I'm like going right back into time. I'm not lying to you. I'm feeling the chills in my spine because I'm like, I don't know how to explain this. Nonetheless, it's explained to someone who didn't have that growing up and is having now a moment where he's falling in love with a girl. I'll be honest with you, I decided to just say things to run away from the experience because I didn't know what to do. I'm not even a professional. It's like, I don't know what to do. So I said to him, you know, trying to blah, blah, blah it off, I said, you know, everyone has their own definition of love. You know, you just got to find what works for you and, you know, just find it. You know what I mean? Let's just keep going, soccer and pizza. I swear, on that bridge, I was trying to run away from it, but he grabbed me by both hands now, my shoulder, and he's shorter than me. He went like that. He goes, I want to know your definition, please. He looked for me to help him with this definition. if you want to know my definition, and I'll be honest with you, because that's all I want. And I said, love is like that feeling when you're holding someone's hand and you're going on a roller coaster, right? And the roller coaster is so exciting because you're going up and it goes ting ting. You get that little feeling, you're like, oh my God, I'm going up this roller coaster. And it's beautiful and it's fun and you're holding someone's hand and it's exciting. I mean, come on, love is the most beautiful thing on earth, right? And love is just great and you're holding that person's hand, right? But check this out, check this out, check this out. This guy's laughing because this guy's like, no, it's not. Love in the definition according to page 22, 9. But check this out, love in the other perspective is when you're still holding hands and that roller coaster goes down and that gut feeling of fear and it gets so scary and it gets so dark, but yet you're still holding hands. Love is when you're still holding hands, when things get pathetic, when things get disrespectful, but you're still holding hands. Love, in my opinion, is the reason why we all exist, the reason why we connect. Love is what connects us all. In this moment, he realized something and I started watering. And then I looked at him and I said, love is deserving for everyone. Love is deserving for the sweetest person on earth, and love is deserving of the rudest person on earth. Everyone deserves love. And then this is when his head went down. And then I said, you deserve love. You are love. And then he collapsed on my chest. And when he collapsed, I hugged him so tight. I mean, I could feel my veins popping out. And I said, I love you. I love you, Uji. Because he didn't know if anyone loved him. He didn't feel it. He didn't know he's going through this crazy moment with girls. And when I held him tight, I made sure I kept repeating it and making sure I stayed with him. I told you when Diana accepted me in the program, I found my why, right? On that day, when his head fell right here on my heart, I felt my why. I felt it physically. If I didn't speak Portuguese, I wouldn't have had that moment. I wouldn't have. It wouldn't have existed. When you find that intrinsic reason, it does exist. It does come to be. It does manifest when it comes from a human connection and interaction. This is Uderson, by the way. You can't see the picture, but he called me for my birthday. I called him for his birthday last week, and he's doing great. And I really believe he has found love in different ways. His brothers are doing well. He's a great kid. He's not a kid. He's bigger than me. He's actually an MMA fighter. So he's not a kid. He's actually a big guy. This is my formula, if I can even build one for myself and share it. It's find your why. Feel your why. Add this beautiful word called empathy, feeling what others feel. And in my definition of success, that will equal success. I'm not the only one who thinks this. Nelson Mandela, one of the greatest leaders of our time, he says something similar to the sense if you speak to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you speak to a man in his language, that goes to his heart. Whether it's at the coffee table with my mom and her friends, whether you're with Uderson on a bridge, whether you're with a loved one, find your why. Make sure it comes from your heart. Thank you. Do we have enough time? Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
We have like 2 or 3 questions. Really quick. So the first question would be, did you wear pants for the interview?
You know what's funny? Afterwards, I thought, do I have to? But I did wear pants, and I'm telling you, I even polished my shoes because it meant more important. It was more important than my interview to become a flight attendant. So I did wear my pants, but I didn't iron them. Whoever asked you, I didn't iron them because he's not gonna see the iron, the crease.
Also, do you believe in God?
Do I believe in God is the question. No. I believe in love. I believe in humans. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Is there more questions? I thought you said 2 questions. And I was like,
2 or 3.
please, sorry, please.
Quick, so that's great. The last question is, what do you do for a living?
I'm an international flight attendant, and if you know anyone in the airline business, you can work a few days a month or a lot of days a month. And I work 9 days on, and then I live in Poland with my fiance, and I volunteer on my days off more than I actually work. So it's fulfilling. Yeah. Thank you guys again. I really appreciate it.